Next on Worcester News Tonight, a Forest Grove Middle School parent says her son was suspended for hugging the gym teacher. Plus, the Holy Cross baseball team gives a local 5-year-old the chance of a lifetime. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Chandler Walsh. A beautiful fall day today in the city. Let's get a first look at our local forecast with meteorologist Pamela Gardner.
Hey there, good evening. I'm meteorologist Pamela Gardner. Beautiful weather on this holiday. Our temperatures in the 60s to 50s for this evening, falling down to 53 degrees by 9 o'clock, and the fall feel late tonight, 51 degrees, but an overnight low of 43 degrees in Worcester, Fitchburg 41, and some 30s once you get across the suburbs and across southern parts of New Hampshire. The wind from the north and west and pretty subtle. Tomorrow afternoon, a west wind, and we have high temperatures in the upper 50s to low 60s. We'll have glorious sunshine though, and it's a beautiful Tuesday before some big changes roll into the forecast for midweek. Sunny and comfortable for tomorrow, and enjoy because midweek we're tracking a nor'easter. At least this is a fast mover though, totally different than the storm that we had to deal with last week. It doesn't linger day after day after day. Of course, we didn't see much rain from it in Worcester, but this time we'll see some heavy rain here and wind that could be damaging from time to time. I'll have the hour-by-hour timing coming up in the 10-day.
The mother of a Worcester Public School student is trying to get a suspension removed from her son's record. Julia Rezko says her 12-year-old hugged his female gym teacher and has faced unfair discipline from the school and district. Our Cam Jandro joins us at Forest Grove Middle School now. Cam?
Chandler Orezco says she's had numerous conversations with Superintendent Maureen Benenda as well as staff here at Forest Grove Middle School, but it doesn't look like her son is going to be able to get an appeal for that suspension. And she says because he's in 7th grade, he has a few more years left in the district, which means it's crucial to get it off of his record right now.
He was clearly really upset. So I just rubbed his back and I said, it's okay.
An emotional Julia Orezco says she was stunned to find out her son was suspended from school after hugging his gym teacher.
The hug by no means met the handbook's definition of a physical assault, and so I didn't want that on his record.
Orezco's son is a student at Forest Grove Middle School. She says he hugged his teacher while joking around in gym class back in September. He was initially suspended for 10 days, but it was ultimately knocked down to 4.
I was told by the principal that they would downgrade it from a physical assault to a disruption of school. But when I read the description of disruption of school, it still falls under things like violence, threat, aggression.
Orezco says the suspension inaccurately represents what happened and could lead to her son being mistreated by teachers in the future.
I'm concerned about the student from day one. And so I think physical assault versus a hug, that paints a really different picture.
Neither the school committee or superintendent's office are commenting on the situation. Orezco says everyone has the right to not want to be touched, but hopes her son and the school can learn from the incident.
I do expect in a situation where he's the child, she's the adult, he's the student, she's the teacher, that she teaches him and that she simply sets an expectation for him around the boundaries that she wants respected in her classroom.
Now, Orezco says she's going to continue to fight for that appeal. She's going to bring it to the school committee meeting, and that meeting takes place on Thursday. We're in Worcester tonight. I'm Cam Jandro, Worcester News Tonight.
A recent Worcester Public Schools survey identifies a technology gap when looking into how students do their homework. The district surveyed about 11,000 students in grades 2 to 12. About a quarter of students said they don't have any technology at home for schoolwork. 54% of students said they use a cell phone, and the majority of students who have a device share it with others. The district aims to use this information to close the gap in its schools. This is the first year there was no Columbus Day parade in the city of Worcester. A new organizing committee has plans to bring it back next year, but some in the city think the holiday as a whole needs to change.
It's a little disappointing.
It's the first time in 22 years Mayor Joe Petty hasn't marched in the city's Columbus Day Parade. The organizing committee canceled the tradition on Shrewsbury Street for the first time in decades, but a new group has plans to bring it back in 2020.
I think next year it's going to be bigger and better with the business community and the Italian community getting together and putting on a nice parade.
Joe D'Onofrio grew up in the neighborhood and says he enjoyed many years of the parade.
You meet a lot of people, friends that you haven't seen in years, and that was the good thing.
He recently stopped going like many others. Flying Rhino owner Paul Barber says the parade crowds were smaller in recent years.
As part of the Merchants Association, we've always tried the last 10 years to wrap things around it to help it out.
Several communities in Massachusetts have changed the name of the holiday, calling it Indigenous Peoples Day over concerns Columbus sparked centuries of Native American genocide.
I mean, that's the real history. It's not Columbus. He didn't even land in America.
Ulysses Youngblood thinks Worcester should change the name as well.
Because we can still celebrate and remember the history, but it's the fact of what it represents, and I think that's what people are having a disconnect nowadays.
Petty says Worcester's parade will likely keep the Columbus name.
It's really up to the Italian community if they want to rename it or anything, but it's their pride and joy.
And businesses hope it makes a comeback.
Hopefully it will reinvent itself to become a great parade.
A Gardner family is offering a substantial reward tonight. They're looking for information after their cat was shot in the face. Owner Erin Lovett says her 4-year-old daughter found their cat Oliver and noticed something was wrong. They took him to the hospital and doctors discovered a pellet gun bullet lodged in his cheek. The family is offering a $1,000 reward for information leading to an arrest and conviction.
I was not expecting to hear, that someone intentionally, drew a firearm on my cat, So, no, I was pretty violated, angry, upset. And then I'm sad for Oliver, because, again, accidents happen, I know, but this was not an accident. This is something that truly someone meant to do, and that's just scary in itself.
Oliver lost his eye in the ordeal. He's recovering at home with his family. The Sturbridge Police Department is asking the public to help identify 2 women they believe used a stolen credit card to buy more than $1,000 worth of merchandise at Walmart. Police say the women made the purchase with a credit card belonging to a Sturbridge resident. The 2 suspects left the Walmart in a gray Volkswagen sedan. Anyone with information on the women is asked to contact Sturbridge Police. Residents of Auburn will vote Tuesday during a special meeting to decide on how the town will reduce the use of plastic bags. Town meeting voters will vote on a bylaw which places restrictions on how retailers can provide customers with plastic bags. The focus is on single-use carry-out bags. There are exceptions, including allowing the use of plastic bags for items like frozen food, fresh meat and produce, and prescription medications. The meeting will take place at 7 p.m. at the Auburn High School auditorium. If the bylaw is approved, it will take effect next spring. The dive bar on Worcester's Green Street will close in just a few weeks. Owners Alec Lopez and Sherry Sadowski told Worcester Magazine the popular Canal District bar will shut its doors on November 2nd. The bar will close to make way for the building owner to open a family-friendly business ahead of the opening of Polar Park. The dive bar has been open for more than 2 decades and has been featured in several nationally recognized magazines. Lopez and Sadowski also own gastropub Armsby Abbey in downtown Worcester. The Holy Cross baseball team signs their newest prospect in a special ceremony Monday. The Crusaders welcomed 5-year-old Brody McDermott. He'll go to practices and some games with the team. And while the players will help Brody, he's already having a big impact on them. Our Erin Keating joins us with the story. Erin?
Chandler, Brody McDermott had been battling cancer since he was 3 years old. He went through 2 years of treatment and is now cancer-free. His mom said by the end of treatment he was ready to play baseball, and now thanks to Team Impact, he can.
Brody McDermott autographs his own personal baseball cards for his teammates.
Thanks, Brody.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Can you make it out to Andrew?
The 5-year-old is the newest member of the Holy Cross baseball team. Brody signed his national letter of intent through Team Impact on Monday. He was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia when he was 3 years old and recently completed treatment. His mom, Lindsay, says Brody was nervous to join the team, but his new teammates made him feel right at home.
Now that he's met some of the guys and they came to his Survivor celebration, he's just loves them, adores them.
Team Impact's mission is to improve the quality of life for children facing serious and chronic illnesses. Head coach Greg DeCenzo says having Brody on the team sets a great example for the players.
And the score matters, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. It's about developing young men that are able to handle anything that comes their way.
Obviously, what he went through was a lot worse than any other loss or bad game, but you know, the resiliency that he showed just kind of shows us that, like, no matter what you're going through, you can always kind of get through it.
Brody's mom says his battle with cancer was difficult for the entire family, but seeing Brody hitting balls on the turf is something they'll never forget.
To see him running around and hitting balls, it really feels good because we saw him go through a lot. And now he's a little boy. He's not a cancer patient.
Brody will be a part of the practices and the games. His team told him that now he has 33 brothers he can call teammates. In Worcester, Erin Keating, Worcester News Tonight.
Worcester singer Ricky Duran will return to NBC's The Voice this week to compete in the show's battle rounds. Last week, Duran received a standing ovation from the judges after his performance of River by Leon Bridges. Duran chose country star Blake Shelton to be his coach. This week, he'll compete against a team member with hopes of advancing into the show's knockout rounds.